I made out with Nina Hagen.
Oh, really? I think I have a picture of that somewhere in here too.
Yeah.
Not the making out part, but let's see. I have a Nina Hagen in here somewhere. When
She was
was
amazing.
that? Was that where was
We
that?
we stole her beer. She got cheeky. We sat down, and I guess she liked the way I looked, and she got really close to me. Where I thought, is she gonna kiss me? Is she gonna kiss me?
That's that,
And I
right?
mean, so yeah, but that's not. But the picture though, my friend John Gillette on the left, he had my camera. I'm like, please, dear God, please tell me you're getting this picture. Please, dear God, you're getting this picture. Please, please, please. So basically, just me and her just kissing for a few seconds.
Assalamu alaikum. You're watching Beauty in the East TV, and I'm your host, Zohra Atash. Today, we're in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, a hub for alternative music. With the music industry rapidly changing, Brooklyn has given birth to an underground movement, indie rock bands that are free from the pressures of major record labels. Meet Zohra, an up-and-coming singer and songwriter. Her band, Religious to Damn, is described as a unique mix of French pop and garage rock. She also happens to be an Afghan American.
I mean, I had a religious background, so it's always in the forefront of my, like, when I'm doing anything creative, just spirituality in general. And it's basically about a span between transcending and fire. And I guess the fascination with spiritual people using religion to damn, really. I think that because of the instruments that I use, we use the rebab in the recording and harmoniums live. So, yeah, I guess in order to explain those choices, I've been honest about my background. I'm very proud of my background. Yes, of course, it's been a double life all of my life. You know, you go home, you go to school, you speak English, and you have your Western interests, and then you go home and you do your prayers and you speak to your parents in a different language, and it's just like bridging the gap has never been something that I've tried to do until recently. I think it's brought my parents and I closer to one another because I was foreign to them as well. So yes, it's still a double life. I wouldn't want my parents to come to a show. I don't think they want to come to a show. The songs are very much like inspired by my Afghan background, as well as being growing up in the South, and you know, I have this thing that I call the dobe tar. It's a resonator guitar, but then we play around with the rebab. It just depends on the feeling of the song that's coming to me. So I was constantly butting heads with my parents, and it was also very difficult to explain to my friends who had a lot looser of an upbringing, you know, like just so, well, why don't you just tell them this, or why don't you just say I'm going to do it? Too bad. It just wasn't an option. Every day I was the struggle for me up until I was 22 and I moved to New York with my sister was that when I'm going to finally take my life by the scruff of the neck, and I'm going to figure this out eventually. And how can I do it so that I don't break their hearts? I think my Afghan background influenced me because I have those instruments in my palette, I guess. It's an undercurrent. I don't think I put it up in the forefront or use it as a gimmick. It's just, it's there, and I think if you're paying attention, you can hear it. The record I'm working on is a work in progress as we speak. I've had really fantastic people, musicians, and you know, people involved in the project, and it's got a lot of my, you know, harmonium and the rebab we play, and as well as electric guitars and pianos and Rhodes, all kinds of stuff, just things that sounds I love to hear. I'm releasing my first single on a little label called Miladies, and it's been mixed by a fantastic guy who's was great. 4AD band called His Name Is Alive, and that's being released in June, and then the record follows. And next week I go in with Brandon Curtis of Secret Machines, who's in our little family of musicians, to do the vocal recording, and then we mix from there, and it's really exciting. Tonight I'm playing in the Lower East Side at a party that my friend Peter Schoolworth throws. It's called Weird. It's a community of artists and musicians that play every week, and they have events, and a few of my friends are on his label, and he's always been good to me and invites me to come play and lets me do whatever I want to do, as far as like it's very loose, and he's very accommodating.
I think Zohra is part of a new group of young, particularly female musicians in New York, who are, we're calling it the Gypsy Wave. It's a group of musicians who seem to have worked in an Eastern influence in acoustic music into a Western kind of tradition of rock and roll music, and it's a really nice hybrid. Has a very kind of psychedelic, witchy vibe to it that I think it could go a long way.
Whereas most girls have dreams of their wedding day, my end all be all dream was to put out a record.
I'm sorry, I had my mic muted. Hello, everybody. It's Kevin Vonesper. Welcome to VonPod. I'm just going to tease that right there and stop it. There's a whole music video associated with that piece that I'll play a little bit later. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? We got someone who's got some sun behind them today, which is very strange because we usually only meet in pure darkness. It's Zohra Atash. I've known... God, I don't know if I want to do the math on this one, but I think, okay, here's a little story time associated with what we just watched. I believe that was in 2009. Can somebody do the math on that? That's like 9. Oh my God, I don't know. That's too many years ago. I was a hungry young filmmaker, and I responded to an ad, I believe on Craigslist. Let me know out there if anyone still uses Craigslist. Is that like something people talk about anymore? And it was to be a videographer and editor for a Afghan American entertainment show, a web TV show, and then I met Zohra Atash, and she's very I guess we would say more of the pop culture, whereas I'm more of in the underground. So to my surprise, when we went out to film our first episode, which we just watched, we met her sister Zohra in a goth club at a goth party that I had never even been to before. It was so underground. Like, this is the goth scene is the underground. She's like underneath the underground a little bit. And so that's where I met Zohra and her band Religious to Damn, and I've seen her in several musical projects since then. We're gonna get all into it tonight here on VonPod. Are you guys ready? VonPod. Welcome to VonPod. I've got chicken heads and deli creeps, scary monsters and super creeps on VonPod. You're listening to VonPod. With aliens and skunk dogs, I hope you're here to chat along to VonPod.
You can watch and chat with us live. Like and share and subscribe. It's always a surprise. VonPod.
Hey, Zohra.
Hi, that's an amazing theme.
Oh, thank you. I had to write my own theme song, of course, because the first thing you want to promote here is that I'm a musician too.
100%. I still
Gotta
have
go
the
check out my
CD
music.
you gave me that
Oh,
you
really?
had I don't want to say it was like it wasn't bedazzled, but it was glittered up.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of
I still have
glitter.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, blue glitter. I still
Yes,
remember
that's
have
my
it.
whole thing. I mean, I haven't gone too far from the theme. I'm still blue, but
I love
less glitter.
it.
You know, people got worried about like I don't know. There was one guy who was like afraid of glass, and I guess glitter is like technically tiny pieces of glass, so he didn't want to take the
Oh,
CD. I just remember
wow.
that. Um, yeah, but yeah, that's totally my aesthetic.
I love it. I've it's these little relics. I actually one of the first. Are you familiar with the band Grizzly Bear?
It sounds very familiar.
Okay, so they're kind of huge in the indie world, but like when
Right.
I was writing about music, like in 2003 and 4, he was a friend of a friend, and he gave me his CD, like as review copies, and they had like the actual like furry hair.
Oh, wow.
So their first record, I have a version of it that
Hey, I
I
love a
just
good
found in my
gimmick.
basement. I
Nice.
know I love it. It's really it's keeping it. I don't have a lot of like an artistic skill set, so the stuff I've made for folks, it's like what art, like fine arts.
Mhm.
It's almost it's kind of funny because it's like I just used as stamps or
I've
um.
done that too. I mean, part of it I
It
would
actually
stamp
comes out pretty
too.
good.
I just like that it's like, okay, if I'm gonna make a CD, which first of all, people don't even have CD players anymore. Maybe it was a little
It's
different
true.
back then, like 15 years ago, but
Yeah,
so now CDs are just a novelty in itself,
you're
even
obsolete.
before
Yeah.
the novelty on top of it of like glittering it up or putting fur on it, you know.
Yeah, there's like these creative ways of putting like what are those things like the USB port like thumb
Mhm.
drives with your record on them and
Right.
um I've seen people do it with like
I'm
lipstick
thinking of
cases
doing
and
that.
stuff and
It's like they're not gonna use these things
yeah.
anyways. It's really just to support the artist and have a physical product. Even I
Yeah,
heard
something
a
to touch. Yeah, for sure.
exactly. Like I heard a statistic that like most vinyl don't even get played because people are just gonna listen to it online. They just want it to show, you know?
Most of that's pretty great. I
Yeah,
think that I like that vinyl's become the relic or like the sort of the trophy. I mean, in a way, like there's that. I mean, that makes sense because they give you that download code. So
right.
there's nothing in
That's
between.
on
Having a CD,
Spotify and too, you know?
yeah, but making a vinyl now is in
Mhm.
itself its own wizardry that it is involved because of how rare it is to come by
Right?
somebody that can press vinyl within
You'd you'd think with the
within
demand that more
yeah.
companies would start, but who knows?
I guess it's
What's
tricky
funny is I
stuff.
guess I actually don't have any of your stuff on CD, but I have a whole bunch of your stuff on vinyl.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know. Did you ever
Good
even put out CDs
good
or
on me.
did I just miss them?
I did if I did not so much. It's one of those things where we would do them with Josh and I with Azar Swan's stuff. We would um create or like I said the stamp that's made like a
Mhm.
template
Right.
um and a stencil of like the actually I think I have it here now. I used
Oh,
is this
yeah,
yeah.
let's see.
So this is the Azar Swan um this is what you
Okay.
would get on the CD. It's because it's
Gotcha.
my friend Fountain actually says she's a musician and she's put out a lot of records now too. She created my name Zora in
Hmm.
Arabic calligraphy and like it's like a like a zoo calligraphy. So
Hmm.
it's a swan shape with my name. So that
Gotcha.
was what we used on a lot of
I don't actually think I have any Azar Swan stuff,
material
but
until I
maybe
just
I'll have to.
got it tattooed on me. So
Oh, nice. Oh, you're breaking up a little bit. Uh-oh, did she freeze? Zora, come back. Uh-oh. Well, while she's frozen, I guess I should do a little housekeeping because what we learned last time on the show is that if the power goes out in my house, the show will continue and the guest can keep talking until I return. So if that happens, I know I did get like a severe weather warning. I'm not sure if that is relevant to New
My,
York. Hello, you're back.
okay, I'm back. My internet is okay, but if you have a severe weather warning.
Yes, but I don't know if it's New York and nothing's
Well,
happening at the moment.
well,
But my power went out last show and the guest just kept talking until I returned. We learned that the show continues while I'm gone.
okay, well, likewise,
Yeah.
I'll try to like, uh, be as entertaining as possible if I can figure out
Okay. Well,
if
hopefully,
it's me or
we
if
were
it's
worried
you.
about you because you froze this time, so I was worried about you. Uh-oh. Are you like technical difficulties?
Yeah,
Are you seeing that you're
everybody who's the internet knows.
Zara, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. Oh boy. Maybe it's time for that music video. You're kind of frozen. I can hear like every couple words that you're saying. Wow, wow. Uh-oh. Well, hello everybody. It's is what happens when you talking to people across in a whole different coast. Why are you not in Brooklyn? I guess we could play the music video and see if she comes back. We're just going to enjoy this. You're back. I thought I'd start playing the video while you were gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well, we can talk over this. What do you remember about this? I told my little story about meeting you.
I remember how happy I was that like we figured out how to mic all of those instruments at Home Sweet Home, because I know that you're like that isn't the live sound, but we were able to do a
No.
live show underneath
Yes.
that, and it could be such, having when something like live wise, like just having it read out or just sound bleeding from one instrument or amp, and it can be really really obnoxious for the listener and to play live and to have to troubleshoot all that.
Mhm.
Because Weird they had a rule where nothing could be pre-recorded, or like no backing tracks, which
Oh,
is
wow.
and so we were one of the first bands that brought a whole like completely live rig, like
Hmm.
and the drums like were play like the whole thing. It was just like a live band situation, because it was a lot of like just analog synth stuff,
Mhm.
bands who had a much different kind of setup. So I was happy that I was able to mic up a harmonium. I
Right.
was really good on young.
Oh no, you're breaking up again. Well, as part of the episode, I did this on my own. I was just like, oh, this is like a 2.5 minute song. I have some great footage of this show. A lot of this came from the sound check too, I believe. And I put this little thing together.
If y'all can hear, but
I think you're back.
Kevin, that your interview with him really it warmed my heart. I hadn't seen that in a long time.
Aw, you're breaking up a little bit again. Is this happening to the audience too? Let me give me a comment if you're watching. Oh no. See, we need the power of the moon. The sun is not doing it for us. I think it's the bright energy is wrong for this. Zohra. Well, that was fun. I can't believe that was so long ago. Hello.
Hi.
We're gonna try this one. What's now? I got two of you.
You have two of me.
Well, now
It's my doppelganger. We'll figure out which one's the evil one.
all right. Well, I guess we'll see. Yeah, there's. Oh, I guess
Who's
that
that?
one's not
I don't
working
know who
anymore.
that is.
Let me kick this one
Zara?
out of the studio.
Yeah, I don't know if
Okay.
you're are you familiar with doppelganger lore?
I know what a doppelganger is, but I don't know the lore behind it. Enlighten me.
Well, there's definitely there are like Alfred Hitchcock episodes as well as like a Twilight Zone episodes of
Mhm.
that touches on this, which is that basically there's the doppelganger is a sort of it doesn't share like it shares your countenance but not your resonance, I suppose. I hope those are the correct words, but basically it's the more evil shadow side, and it takes over. So it's this fight. So if you see your doppelganger, it's just all trickery, and it'll kind of embed itself in your life, and it'll make you look like the crazy one as it charms everyone else, and then it kind of casts you aside. So it becomes you. It has
Wow.
real evil intentions. So
Sounds like a concept album in
that's
the works.
it does, doesn't it? I hope I got that. I definitely haven't I've read up on that, and I hope I kind of gave the correct synopsis. But it's something akin to that. So yeah, if there's two of me fighting to get in,
Oh no.
the
They're fighting.
the password will be Kevin. It's me,
Okay, I think I can
the real
remember that.
me.
Yeah. But they might be listening.
I know. I that's okay. Hey, if it wants to be me that bad, let it.
Hey,
Maybe it'll have an
I guess
easier
so.
time of it.
Right? I
Maybe
know.
it'll
It's
put
a
on a
rough
bit.
world out there. Why would you want to,
Exactly. It's gonna have to. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of the shows it'll have to play.
Mhm.
It'll have to. I actually I have an easier time of it now, just sort of bringing my own having my equipment sort of within my own mixer so that I know how to
Oh yeah.
troubleshoot then. Like, we go into a DI, and then from there, because I have to expect that in the try to be as accommodating to the sound guys as much as possible, because there's a lot to do, a lot to be like and I use multiple microphones, and so that's just like in order
Yeah.
to get that to not be a sort of pain in anyone's rear end. I like microphones with switches on and off buttons and stuff, so that I can sort of make sure that there's no squealing PAs in anyone's ear. So
Yeah, I
that's what
mean,
I've
so
learned.
your current setup, is it just like a two-channel out to the board and you just control everything on stage, basically?
Yeah,
That's great for the sound guy.
definitely, and we kind of like we just get we have something to where if I need like one of my synths to go through their board, then I'll do it. And then I have one microphone that they control just in case everything go like on my end. I don't know. The F word? I try not
Yeah,
to
yeah,
curse,
yeah.
but
It's all good.
if things get fucked up on my end, then they can sort of take over and have something that is propelling
Here, we
the
could get a
show.
taste of that. You haven't seen this yet, but I put together this show from St. Vitus.
Oh, that looks cool. No,
So
I
you
haven't
can,
seen that.
yeah, you can see. This is an exclusive for the show tonight.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, this is
Oh,
your latest
wow.
setup, and yes, I've seen your band get smaller and smaller over the years, and now it's just you.
Yeah. Well,
Is that accurate?
I've yeah, it's like it's needed to in order to kind of to do as much or what the creatively do what I wanted or needed to do. Um, sometimes you just got to do the whole thing yourself. I
Hey,
mean, when sometimes it's
yeah.
I wouldn't suggest it to like, but it just I had a record in my head for a long time, and it just there wasn't really room for anybody to bring much else to it. So if for a while I was doing other projects, I was putting this solo record together.
So would
Um,
you consider this different than the other bands that you've been in? Or is
of
it kind of an extension of the same?
Yeah, I think it's an extension of because all the bands I've been in for the most part, I've done a lot of been at the helm writing wise, and but uh, but this has more of a feel that is like I didn't have to think about not to say that I wasn't thinking about how it would be played live. I was,
Hmm.
but I wasn't thinking about it in terms of like what would such and such have to add. A lot of times, like um, there are times like you think in terms of who is in the band and what they do
Right.
and how they would fit in. Um, but organically, Josh and I were just picking up from one another, like, oh, this demo you did, it would be really cool if I played this guitar part here. But then when somebody has like a designated thing that they're doing, then you start to think in terms of like, oh, so what would Josh's part be in this?
Hmm.
If that makes sense. So
Yeah,
whereas
yeah. Like,
some
okay,
of the
now
rules,
every song needs a guitar, right?
or every song needs something for somebody to
Right.
do, and as I was writing more demos, then I realized like maybe these are um this doesn't need much of that kind of treatment. So uh but like I did when I gave it to Ben Greenberg, who was initially just mixing, he ended up kind of getting in it in more of a production way, and which was really cool. And so yeah, I enjoyed it. And this was like one of the second show I played live
Mm,
with this stuff, and it's still like the getting the kinks out in terms of
sure.
like trying to also like a lot of it's layered up when I write it.
Hey, your sister's
Um,
here.
she said I told her I was like, oh my gosh,
Hello.
Beauty in the East.
Yes, it's all
Um,
because of you, Samira.
yeah, it was super cool seeing that. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, well, actually,
Um,
let me return to that. I mean, just thematically. Did you get to hear it right as we were watching it today?
are you talking to Samara and me?
No, no, to you.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
How relevant is that all today? And with your, I guess at that time, okay, so at that time you only had
My seven
this
inch,
out,
yeah.
right? This was the original Religious
Yeah.
to Damn, yeah. And now you have all these albums, including this one, which we were just talking about, Murder in the Temple. Is it all,
Yeah.
does it all still apply? Like all those things that you were saying back then?
Yeah, it does. I think
Or
it
like
was super
what is
important for.
evolved or changed, you know, between the beginning of Religious to Damn to your new album now?
I think in the beginning, uh, being a part of like a diaspora community like that, like we weren't sure what folks would think. It's weird. They're very like our culture is very like it can feel very like small town, like you know, like a Bobby Gentry song, like kind of like a teeny tiny town where people play a part in how like I'm what they'll think and what they'll say, and the sort of like
Hmm.
that machinery of was definitely more present in all of our lives, and also just at that time, um being also just like American, identifying as Afghan and American, and having that the war be something that was very bizarre, because some of my
Hmm.
friends that I grew up with in the South went out to Afghanistan before I did, in the role that they were in. I don't like just which I'm very really vague about, because I obviously didn't want to know, like, oh, did you have play a part in doing XYZ there? But obviously, that it's pretty. It goes without saying that there was a conflict, and they were there on behalf of, one part of my identity into another
Right. Hmm.
side. Like, one of those instruments actually that I had in my apartment then was from my friend from Virginia who brought me back that little bob. Just really crazy. It's just really strange. But its relevance today is like there's the Afghan diaspora community and a lot of young Afghan Americans, Afghans out there who've written me over the years are really a lot more open minded than I probably gave them credit.
Hmm.
And we're actually kind of excited and thought it was cool. And whereas before the fear was that like everyone was like, not everyone, but just like the whole Taliban, like no music,
Hmm.
no fun, no this, no that, no. But a lot of like real folks are just like, hey, it's just like I like what you do, and so it was a lot less of a thing, as they say in the South, than it ended up being. But it's
Hmm.
still relevant in that I hope that sometimes it's important for kids to see um, somebody that has there to for them to be reflected in some part of culture.
Gotcha.
And so being yeah, dark music, I think, is a marginal community that I feel like it was part of my attraction to it, not only aesthetically, but it was also because it's like, for misfits and,
Hmm.
the folks who just don't really
Yeah.
have a
You,
have a place.
you'd mentioned like that you probably wouldn't want your parents to come to your show, and they probably wouldn't want to come to your show. Have they come to any of your shows since then?
No, I
No?
still going strong.
Nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
No,
can't
it's really
imagine them
funny.
at St.
No,
Vitus, right?
they no, I think they probably would be like chill now, but now
Mhm.
I'm just like, it's they might, my dad's a musician himself, and
Right.
like
I
they've
think I met
seen
him
all this
once.
stuff. He's super nice and he's super
Yeah.
open-minded and stuff like that. But it just doesn't it I feel like those the there's this thing like W.E. Du Bois wrote about the cultural. It was written on about the African American or the Black experience in the United States of called the cultural switching, and that how you act in front of white people versus
Hmm.
blacks. But I definitely took a lot of from that, a lot of it spoke to me at the time growing up, like there's definitely cultural switching of from how I talked to my community on that, and then how I was outside of that. But those two things mixing now, they that it's like it's
Hmm.
all much. It's There's no feeling of like, because there was a lot of stuff was I felt a lot of fear as well. Maybe before, but now none of that exists. But I still don't.
Right.
I still am happily like, nah, I'd rather
Yeah,
not have
yeah.
them
I
like.
mean, same with me, except, I don't have that kind of background, but I'm still in the underground, and I don't think my mom would want to come see my show, for the most part. Or
Yeah.
like, go to most of the parties that we would have attend, you know.
Yeah, there are folks who have brought like their parents and I love it when they kind of like
It's
when
too
they're
late for
there
them
and
anyways.
but exactly.
Oh, thanks,
Um,
Samira. I have a question for her. Samira, do you have the original footage of all that stuff? Because I couldn't for the life of me find the footage of that show. But I found a whole bunch of other things in the archive, and we're gonna go poke around in it in a little bit. Was Religious to
I'm
Damn
sure
your first band? Or did you do stuff before that?
I've
Like, how
done
long have
stuff
you been
before
writing
that, but
music?
sorry. Oh, sorry, this was parched. Years
Yeah, I'm
before
wondering if
that,
I
but
gave it all to you because I'm pretty organized and I couldn't find any Beauty and the East stuff. Maybe it's all together somewhere. I'll keep looking too. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's fine. It's that I had been writing for a while, but I had been sort of keeping it um to my like just keeping my demos to myself, waiting for maybe finding the right people to play play it. And I'd played with folks, but I just nothing that I'd put out or
Mhm,
uh, Peter kind of he challenged me and that project to put ourselves out there because he was just like he gave us a kind of deadline of like, yo man, just do it. I think without that that push of like that challenge, I would have maybe who knows what I was waiting for to feel quote unquote ready.
mhm,
But yeah, it was nice to have somebody sort of uh, give us the impetus to play it out because
mhm.
yeah, some of that stuff it can feel like you can keep waiting for the perfect time to
Oh,
I
I
want to
feel
say
that,
debut. It was
yeah.
like yeah, but it just it created the moment that I may have let pass me by because I wasn't maybe even really looking for it to be something I played out to for other folks. But
Mhm.
I'm glad we did it. So it
So was
was
that like, I mean,
y-
how did I catch like one of the first shows? Because it was still it seemed like a pretty new project at the time.
it was like yeah, it was like the second or third show
Oh,
of
wow.
Tops.
I really caught you at the beginning.
Right at the beginning. Yeah, no, because I played May of 2008 was the first show, and so there was one in between, and then
Where was that?
that was the third one. They were all with
At Weird?
well, one was at CSV Theater, I believe. Yeah, so one was at CSV Theater that I did with Tamron,
Mhm.
and that was a that was super fun. And then this was the third show again at Home Sweet
Okay.
Home. So CSV Theater, we just we it was one of those places that you would sort of not rent out your like it was a
Yeah, I
show
don't think
space,
I've
but
ever
it was
been
like a
there.
yeah, we wanted to do it. It said, but Weird had it was like Weird was involved. It was like a weird
Mhm.
show, but it was somewhere. It was like a special kind of performance. So
That party
and
doesn't
that was
exist anymore. Does Home Sweet is Home Sweet Home even still there? I haven't been there in years.
it it is, but the parties that the last like Peter's Wednesday party and then Jonathan Tobin's Friday party used to be there.
Mhm.
The and those both no longer are there, but
Right.
they still have a I think it's like more of like pop
Mhm.
I don't know what
I'm
pop
sure
it's just like
you gotta sell the
more
drinks, you know?
yeah exactly.
There's not much of
Although
us underground people
yeah those nights
comparably.
did pretty well, but now there's TVI has taken that's
Right.
where
That's
Jonathan's Tobin
everyone
stuff
keeps talking
a
about
lot
this
of
place,
folks
and I've
there.
still yet to go. I gotta, like, just
Oh, it's
pick a
amazing.
show and go, yeah.
It's for sure. No, it's really rad. It's um our like Jasper and Jonathan, who are both at Home Sweet Home. It's their
Hmm.
spot, along with Caleb and other folks. There's lots of really great stuff. The calendar there is full of
Yeah,
rad shows, and
I'll get
it's
there
a good
eventually.
space.
Yeah, I mean, I go where the event is, and lately a lot of the events have been at St. Vitus, so I've been there a lot.
Oh yeah, St. Vitus is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a good spot.
thank
And
God
I
that.
get great sound when I bring my equipment there too. So like I got that
Yeah,
straight
it's
out
a
of
great
the
sound room.
soundboard. And you could probably put
Super.
that out if
That's
you
really
wanted to.
impressive.
I wanted to
I
say
would.
about
Yeah,
Home Sweet
totally.
Home, that place was always so weird to me. I always had strange experiences in that spot. Have you had strange experiences at that spot? Because I feel like there's a
Oh
strange
yeah.
energy there, and it's not just all the fog that they used. I literally lost people in that room before.
Well, not just
I found them
temporarily.
later, but
Yeah, it's a strange place to have like a dance party, because it was like there was
there's
it's
weird
no
vibes
wonder
there,
that
I'm telling you.
yeah, I always had a great time, but it was kind of like a fever
Mhm.
dream, or for sure. um Definitely, it, it's I think the energy there was always just that of like a little bit seedy underbelly of the
It was
whatever
definitely an
particular
experience, yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, I would say, and it was I loved the people there, and Joe, who
Right.
worked the door, like they were just like we
And lots
were
of
buds, and they
taxidermy if people have never been
took
there.
care of us.
It could be the spirit of all
Yeah,
those dead animals on the wall.
that's true. I forgot about there is
Yes,
that
beyond
aspect
the
of it.
smoke, there's lots of yes, taxidermy. That's taxidermy and smoke.
Yeah.
That's what you would associate with that place. And not no
And a
and I'm
concrete floor.
sure yeah, and live bands at the goth party. So
It's
when you
true.
in the interview that we opened with, you were talking about going to record the album, but the album didn't come out for like another year or two. Was that the same album you were talking about?
Oh yes, that
And
was
it's this one,
the
right?
big adventure that one was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it
yeah,
take
that
like
was.
another year or two to complete?
It didn't. Well, yes and no. It was. It. You know,
I need my props.
I'm think it was so initially supposed to come out on a label that then we had to
Weird, right?
pivot. No, 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 not weird.
Oh.
It was
Oh, this is
I'm
my
actually forgetting.
ladies.
Trouble Man.
Okay.
And you could they took that name to the he lived it. He lived.
He was a troubled man.
I'm trying not to. I'm gonna keep biting my tongue, but yeah, it took the time it took, and if it was, there was a lot of a learning curve for me, in terms of what to have the patience for, and what to kind of keep it moving. But
Mhm.
it was difficult. It was difficult, but we finally got there, and I'm proud of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it should it in it's it was a really strange time to put out records.
Yeah, and
And
this was
I
what, like
think it is
2011, I wanna say?
yeah, 2000, well, between 2010, 11. And it was uh I think it continues to be a strange time for folks to put out records, but
Yeah.
they're labors of love, and I know that I learned a lot, not just about putting out records, but just in terms of like life lessons that I think folks folks would unfortunately, there it's almost like kind of boring stuff, like
Mhm.
bureaucratic red tape
Right,
of,
right.
also, like, how it's just
It's the doppelganger.
yeah. My doppelganger actually should have, I wish she had taken over then, and
Yeah.
would have, maybe she'd have been able to kind of crack
Just
the whip. But
right. Yes.
I've learned how to kind of. But
Yes,
also,
I've heard that
I
song, Discipline.
yeah, exactly. Just it's a strange. It's just, I navigating yourself. I find it. What I'm most excited about, like, lately, is what is being just almost radically honest with who I am,
Oh, good.
which all
Yeah.
sounds very cliche, but how that fits into how I talk about my art, and how I put it out there, um, and because
How has that
a lot of
changed
times.
in the past 15 years?
Well, it's I think practicing kind of a radical honesty without being like without getting the muck of it, like, and
Mhm.
like I've no interest in sort of shading, or like, because I mean we could do that for days. There's dealing with different personalities, people whose egos are unimaginatively, like, huge comparatively to what they have to offer. I mean, I could talk shit till the end of time, and it'd be
Mhm.
hilarious. But doing that in
No,
its place.
we're trying to keep the positive vibes, even though we dress in black,
I'm
right?
for sure, because that's and I find that's uh for the most part, I've the people that the circles I run in are super positive and awesome, and I don't. But then every now and again, you'll meet the little, someone who will stick a wrench in the gears, and it's easy to kind of get stuck in that muck.
Mhm.
But now I just feel like I don't. I There was a sense of I think maybe 10 years ago, etc., like, of having to kind of talk about one's art the way that, like, the sort of godheads talked about their art, like, in this sort of way that was romantic, but not rooted in the real world that we all kind of participate in.
Mm.
If that makes sense, like, you could keep a mystique, and I think there was a cachet to the mystique, but there's just no. That's not the world we live in. We can't. We're not. Or it's just dishonest to talk about things that way. So I like uh, to give people a sense of what it really who who I am, which is I
Are you the
like I
same?
like making
Then
jokes.
how much have you changed in the last 15 years?
Oh,
I mean, you seem
no,
generally the same to
I'm just
me.
a lot more comfortable,
Right.
pretty much the same, but now I don't have to talk about it as carefully, because having kind of a sense of humor back in that time felt like it didn't quite go with the dark. When someone gets little snippets of
Mhm.
you, just as goofy as I am, no, I didn't think that I could be like. And by goofy, I just mean like I,
Like,
I
Goofy is not goth enough.
maybe.
Yeah.
And but it and now I feel really happily embrace just. And I think that folks no longer need you to pretend that you're a woodland creature,
Mhm.
like some gossamer, like fairy,
Mhm.
just because I'm into dream spaces in my work. Because that is a part of, like, it's almost like the inverse. Sometimes I'm the most serious that I ever am in the music. Not that it's so stern or austere.
Mhm.
It just isn't. Um, I I I don't know. I've also now kind of almost embraced part of a sense of humor in my lyrics as well, whereas
I was
before I
gonna
didn't
ask,
really.
is there humor in the material at all? Because it is still very dark and brooding
De-
sounding.
Definitely, like, there's some bits, some lines that are like. D- and it's veering. But some of the newer material is even more gravitating towards, like, uh, where the sense of humor
Mhm.
and the catharsis all live. Which humor is actually a really it's day to day really important, an important part of my Like it's how I've basically to not have a sense of humor when you've come from like a culture or background that's like been entire like just at war since I was born.
Right.
Just having folks like some of the stories and the like it's so dark that there's just nothing, not to make light of of really heavy situations. It's more of like, you know, gallows humor. And you know, I hate to over
Mhm.
to analyze one of the most boring books I ever read was like Freud's book on humor. It was like, ugh,
Oh
this sucks.
boy.
Not like but it's there, and it's a tool. And
Why did you read
like
that?
it was where I was sitting, and someone had it, and I was leafing through. My
That's
friend
funny.
she had it in her, and I was like, well, I would never purchase this, so let's look through it. And I was just like, wow, this is um how um a book on humor that was completely humorless, but it was
Mhm.
still, there was a joke to be made. But I mean, my husband
Yeah,
and
it's
I,
like ironic.
he's
That's right.
he's a writer, and we get to just we riff on things like about music. And actually we just got he writes for Cream. He's like he
Oh,
did
cool.
yeah, and he's an editor and a writer there, and he did this this summer. He was working on something for the latest issue that just came out, which is 90s, like it was kind of their synopsis of the 90s. And so we just got to go back and forth and share things we remembered. And um like, for instance, I don't know if you're familiar with do you know the Sarah McLachlan song, In the Arms of an
Yeah,
Angel,
of course.
sorrow, the doggy commercial,
Yeah, of
like the
course.
sat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that song was
I am old enough for that. Yes.
So that song was actually written, and the lyrics are, I don't know if you're familiar with
It's about the Smashing
the Smash.
Pumpkins, right? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
you're
know
one of
about
the
it.
very few people that knows
It's
that.
about Jonathan
I was
Melvoin.
like, it's about that. Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah,
his
I have a
heroin
story
overdose.
for you. You
And
wanna
so
hear this?
I want to hear the
Sorry, I
story.
know
Yeah,
I
tell
cut
me.
you off, but you got me excited.
No, I'm
So,
excited.
when that guy died, Jonathan Melvoin, remember when they OD'd and the drummer OD'd with him,
Yeah,
but he didn't die. Thankfully, he's one of
yeah,
the best drummers ever.
he's one of the best
Um,
drummers. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm glad because I got to see him play with the Smashing Pumpkins, since then.
I saw them the night before it happened in
I
DC.
was supposed to go to the show that it did happen. I had
Garbage Day. Oh, you really?
yes.
Oh, that's so crazy.
I actually won tickets to see it in a contest from Tower Records, my local Tower Records, to see
Oh,
Garbage
really?
opening for
To see
Smashing
Garbage? Oh,
Pumpkins in
yeah.
small print because they were like the up and coming thing at the time,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I had
Oh
tickets
my
to that
gosh.
show and it got canceled for like 6 months, and then of course everything was different by then. So I remember
Oh my
that
gosh,
story
that's
very
so crazy.
specifically because I kind of lived through it.
That is so funny because we saw the night before.
Wow.
And yeah,
Wow,
and
you
you
saw his last show.
yeah,
That is so morbid. You gotta have a sense of humor about that,
yeah.
right?
Well, not on their behalf. I mean, I have to say, I was like, oh man, like Jimmy Chamberlain was such a great drummer. I mean, I think they came around on it later.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it
It's
was a
so weird to
bummer
think at
of a
that time,
thing.
like, they were just, like, kids in their 20s at the time, playing, like,
I
Madison
know, and
Square
it's
Garden and dealing with these issues. It's like, "Oh my god." So weird to think about now.
exactly. And
I think
and
he Adore came
you
out when
know,
he was 30. It's like, "What?"
it really, oh my gosh. So so Siamese or so
Yeah,
Melancholy
he
and
was, like,
Muted
in his
Sadness was
mid-20s when he did that. Like, it's a brilliant. It's
wow.
crazy. Yeah, I know.
It's really crazy to think about. But I think it's really funny that you know that
Yeah.
the doggy
Oh,
and
what
kitty,
were yeah, were you gonna say
this
something
that
about that? I'm
song.
sorry I cut
No,
off your whole
he didn't
story.
know. No. That's just funny that you knew that, because it was like, oh, it's about the overdose of that keyboardist. He was, he was in the add-on for that particular
Yeah,
record, or
that
for
tour,
that
yeah.
tour. And they got to New York, and I guess, whatever what happened. But that was the impetus for those lyrics. So when I look at like little like slow-mo like you know piano shots of dogs in
Yeah,
cages and like
it's
it
become
just
a joke, like a meme almost these days. Yeah, that whole era, that
exactly. And
commercial.
so he has a line in there that I didn't know he had about how it's about that the puppies, uh, and the reason why they look so sad is because they're thinking about the dude who passed. Like, I mean, it's a lot funnier than that. It was written really.
Wait, who
They were
wrote
just
that?
Zach, my husband, who's the
Oh,
editor
okay,
of the
gotcha. Yes, yes,
like
yes.
so for so my oldest sister was reading through it today, and she was like laughing her ass off, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you used that little tidbit because a lot of people don't know that those were in the arms of the angel. I mean, it's such a, I don't know,
So
it's
yeah,
one of those songs that anybody, it's so when people don't listen to lyrics and then they just like, or like the core, they gravitate towards the chorus, like the every breath you take, like being a wedding song, and
right, and
how
it's like about a
it's like,
stalker,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
it's not. I mean, not that people have to like be as like diligent about like figuring out what the lyrics are actually about, but
Mhm.
still I think it's funny when it's like completely off the mark.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I
those
feel like I
big
should
doggies and
segue
kittens.
and say that I've been writing with more humor in my music as well. I don't know if it's just a natural progression or just like
That's fantastic.
my time being in Green Jelly finally permeating into my own lyrics, but hey, you should go check it out on Bandcamp and Spotify. See, I went solo too. This is under Kevin Vonesper. Although I
Nice.
will be coming back with another project soon, but yes, there's oh, I guess I should announce to everybody that the second album of this trilogy, which is all stuff that has started during the pandemic, is done except for mastering and everything. But on my end,
Oh,
I think
yay.
it's completely done. So once I
Mazel
can get
tov,
that mastered,
Mubarak.
everybody just like keep, I got things coming up. So stay tuned.
Exciting.
Hey, do you want to
Good.
see what else I got in the archive?
Sure.
Let's see what I got in the archive. I found a whole bunch of tapes this week. This
Let's
one.
do it.
Oops. Where is
Oh my good.
this
This would be
one?
a
Is
perfect time for me to go on a little bathroom break.
oh sure. Let's watch a little bit of Religious to Damn from 2011 while you
Yay.
take a little bathroom break.
Thank you.
Something from the archive. Nobody's ever seen this. 2011. So the annex was a spot, I believe it was near Orchard Street. I just kind of remember, I think the Orchard Bar where the Red Party started was right near it. And it did have a couple other different names too. It's one of those places that just kind of kept changing. I don't know what it is now. Does anyone out there know what the annex became? I can't trying to think of what the other name they had there. Maybe Zohra will remember. Well, let's see. I want to ask about this instrument here. That's an interesting instrument. Feel free to say hello and ask some questions if you're in the chat. We always like a good audience engagement. And while you're doing that, also like and share and subscribe. Help me win the algorithm. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so if you're watching this, give it a like, give it a subscribe. It means everything to me and almost nothing to you. The annex. Oh man, that's gonna bother me. Someone who knows New York club culture, tell me. I need my own Jamie. It was something funny too. Let's see. No, it's hard to Google annex New York City. Hey, only 110 to 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? They're trickling in. I swear by the end of the year I'm gonna make it there, but All right. There's a lot of smoke here too. Are you back? You're muted.
But it's
There we go.
incredible. I haven't seen that in for a long
So
time, but
this
a
was
lot
at
of
the
smoke.
annex.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, like, what was that place called? It had a couple different names. Do you remember?
The annex.
Yeah.
What else? I don't remember what else the annex was. Zach, do you remember what the annex had a different name? It was like
It did. I just
it,
can't think of it right now.
I mean, I just can't believe that there are places to play in that area, to be honest with you. But like
This was
with
near
like,
Orchard Street, right?
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you
I-
remember about this? This is 2009, Religious to Damn. Wow.
Oh, I
I'm
remember.
wrong. 2011's coming out soon.
Remember when my auto harp, I stepped on the cord and I knew it was
Oh,
out and I knew I'd have to eventually.
is that what this is? I wanted to ask about this
Yeah.
instrument here. How
I
do you play
yeah.
that? Is
Oh,
it
it's
kind of like an
I play that
accordion?
in I started playing that's something actually in the South in our elementary school. We started playing that as young children because it has the chords on it
Hmm.
and it's almost like a zither. So it's like you can like the it has these little pads that'll basically, the way you would do finger a chord on a guitar, it would
Mhm.
sort of configure like the A minor,
Do you
and
have
so
to
it would
tune
just
that thing?
yeah, for
Oh
sure.
man, that must be a
Not
pain.
all the time. It's not quite as like a
Like a guitar. Oh no, did she freeze again? Zara, come back.
but it's like a
Okay, you're
zither
back. You disappeared for a second.
oh, okay, hopefully
I think you're
I
back
won't
now.
just but yeah, so yeah, that was an an auto harp. And then I don't know if I brought my harmonium. I think I brought just a keyboard for this. But yeah, I
Let's see.
remember this show. It's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, this is your friend, right? Oh no.
Oh yeah,
that's you.
Tamron.
Yeah.
That was a
I
great
guess I
show
have
she
both
did.
of your sets here. Or was it like a combined thing? No.
Sometimes we would play shows and it was just sort of like we would do them together, like just energetically. We would have and maybe if she sang on something of mine, she's done she would stand in and sing with me. But this is just we both were playing this.
Mm-hmm.
We would do them as like I don't know, as a kind
Here's
of like
one.
not a double headline.
You got a violin player at this show. This one's at the Knitting Factory. Back when it was
Oh
on Leonard
wow!
Street.
Oh my gosh!
And I
forgot about
remember
this.
specifically at this show, man, I guess I can say this now because the Knitting Factory doesn't exist here anymore, but they had some really whack camera policies. And I basically had to bootleg this because they're one of those venues that want like hundreds of dollars if you bring in a camera. But then they don't offer the
Oh
service
really?
themselves. Yeah. So I had to like
I didn't know
sneak this
that.
out and bootleg this. Yeah, because
I think this is like it was a Pendu Fest. I
okay.
forgot his if it was called. Hold on, sorry, I'm just grabbing a trash.
I think that's probably
I
why
think.
the video is a little unstable here because I'm just like
Oh, you're like
trying
sneaking
not to
it.
get
Oh my
caught.
gosh.
Yeah. Well, I
Oh
need to
man.
do my job, you know.
No, that's so funny. I just had no idea that it was that difficult to get away with.
Yeah, they're weird about that. I don't know why. It's a very old school, like 90s sort of policy. It's
That
not
is
like I'm
really
bringing
funny.
in like these giant professional cameras or anything.
Yeah, and it's so weird because it's like this is way before it was like the Williamsburg
Yeah, this was still
location.
the
still in the city.
the second of 3 knitting factories in New York. I never made it to the first one, which was actually in the garment district, I hear. Right? Have you ever been to the original
I thought
one?
it was. I thought the original one was in downtown. I didn't know there was one in the garbage district.
Yeah, this was the
I
second
hadn't heard that.
location. This was on Leonard Street.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about where I assumed it was like near where Mud Club was and all that.
I guess so. I don't know.
so-
It was before my time. This was like in the 90s, you know.
Before my time as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how long have you been doing this particular show here?
This show, well, you're episode 49, so I guess longer than I thought.
Wow.
I know Halloween's coming up, and I remember doing a Halloween special last year, so I guess over a year. And this is kind of like, do you remember my old show Twilight Vision?
Yeah.
This is kind of like an extension of that, except now we have this like live streaming platform, and I don't have to do lots of post-production, so it's a lot easier.
That's great.
Because now I just edit it live, and then it just exists. You know, my post-production would be like clipping it out, and that's about it.
It could take a while. Sometimes it's like being
could.
a lot of
but not as much as
that's a lot easier than you used to be able to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the technology is much advanced.
And it's good.
Oops.
And also now people can kind of like, you can rely on them having a sort of their own, being able to do these types of like remote access without it being like, oh, somebody's sound is like just after I think the pandemic, I would imagine people had to just get better at rigging their own like.
I think also people just got more used to it because like once like cable TV became Zoom based, it was like, well, you know, who cares now?
That's that's true,
right? Like our bar of quality has gone down to SoundCloud rapper, you know.
Yeah, there was a learning curve, I think, at the beginning of the pandemic where people were. Yeah, but I think it got better.
Yeah,
but
so I was
right now I'm actually in the West Coast, by the way, if you want to know.
I was wondering, why is there sun
my
behind
sister's
you? That
place.
is not Brooklyn. Oh, okay.
No,
Gotcha.
I haven't been able to come visit in quite some time, and my dad gets he'd been getting his treatments for his he'd been sick for a bit, and out here, so we were visiting, and
Gotcha.
and yeah, so it's very idyllic out here, but definitely not not my. I think it's
what
like
is
a
it, like
golf
7
course.
o'clock? Yeah, I guess the sun is still
Yeah,
up.
it's at 7:09. But rock and roll, man. Let's
You
take
want to see what else I
trip.
found?
You know what? Like I'm down for anything if you want to.
All right. I totally forgot about this completely. I won't play the whole thing, but I guess I did some sort of promo for the Azar Swan record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
this record. I like.
And it's like you talking about all the songs on it. I don't even remember
yeah,
where.
I did this. This was at KP's. My friend KP, she had this space where she was like, we were trying to do like some meetups with folks, some other like artists, and every now and again, like just like to have powwows, and you came
it
to
was
the
like an
powwow
art
space.
right?
It's just
okay.
Yeah. And she since then, so this is 2014. A lot of these people moved to the West Coast after this, like
15
in 2015.
Actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I totally forgot about doing this completely until I found this.
I miss those earrings.
Oh, what happened to them?
R.I.P. I don't know. I misplaced them, but I had been trying to get my hair to like I was really inspired by these brindle animals that I had been like in my life, and I'm like, I love brindle hair. But I had just kind of like, so you can see on that side, it's a bit more If you, I love how that's my insight on these. I'm like, and my brindle hair.
That's okay. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was fun. I love that record was just super.
I
It was
didn't
a.
realize how many records you guys put out. I thought there was only one, but there's like 4 of them
Oh,
or
this is
something,
this
right?
is like Azar Swan, yeah. So
Yeah.
after the and yeah, this one was the second record we put out, and
Okay.
it was
What's the difference between Religious to Damn and then Azar Swan? And am I saying that correctly? And what does the name mean?
yeah, it was a kind of an amalgam of my name and Josh's name.
Hmm.
His like and
Okay.
but it also has like in Farsi it's like it means like um Azar is a name as well as it means like 1,000. So like, and I love birds and the imagery, and I liked the way it laid out, like the actual the text, the way it sat on
Yeah, it
on
does look
a piece
good.
of art, and
So
so yeah, that was the
is
that was the
Azar actually a word?
yeah, in Farsi it is.
Okay.
But it's also a
Am
name of an author as well.
I saying that
Azar.
correctly?
Yeah, it's as the American or English pronunciation is Azar, which is not too much different than the
Azar. Okay.
Farsi Azar.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so the difference was that it became a project solely of Josh. Josh had moved to New Orleans, but he and I would bounce things back between each other, and it became just solely us playing live and recording, and I had my own like vocal setup, which I I had a particular kind of style of singing for this that I was much different than Religious to Damn, which was more um uh a more sort of contained way of singing.
Okay.
And this was a full on chest voice, I think. Just trying out different stuff,
Who made these
vocally, and
video clips?
a lot of them were made by me
Oh,
actually.
okay, great.
And edited by somebody
So I
that
just gotta clarify, I didn't make those videos. I just did the interview part and put it all together.
yeah, but I was experimenting with a lot of stuff. So I was using a couple of friends to hold the
Yeah.
the camera, etc. But sort of writing out treatments for what I wanted to what I thought would be really cool images, and yeah, and I'm proud of how it turned out.
This was a little out of order. I should have done this one first. Okay, so this I'm looking for. This is the last Religious to Damn show at Glasslands, right? This was the last one.
Oh no, that's like I'd lost my I'd lost my voice a little bit on this day. Like it was the record release. So after all of
The record release. Okay.
yeah, it was a record release. It was a super fun night. We had a bunch of our friends there, and my voice is a bit like
well, it's too bad because we have great soundboard audio for this one.
Well, it doesn't sound too bad right there.
Yeah.
I just remember, how the memory sometimes
Sure.
my memory
You're always your own
maybe,
worst critic too. So.
Oh yeah, I'm like, not nary a peep came out of my mouth, but I guess that was a clear tone.
Yeah.
So cool. Thanks, Kevin. Now
well,
I'm remembering these a lot worse than they were.
Maybe something in your archive, but we had like 3 camera angles and also the VJ footage that I mixed all together. And I can only find 2 of the. I'm missing one of the angles, but like I did find everything else. This is not the edited version. I just put the sound to one of the angles last night, but I can't find the fully edited version. I don't know if you have that somewhere. I'd love to see it.
I must, right?
Yeah.
But
I know your sister took some video too that I like I have the original project file, but it's like the files are not associated. Their files are gone. You know, like the video files. 'Cause hard drives were very small back then, guys. You couldn't keep all this stuff on your computer. Like
And
you
yeah,
can
and they
now.
didn't have like the Google Drives and etc. where
Yeah.
you could do it on the like put them up on some cloud.
Speaking of clouds, this place was like a cloud.
Oh yeah, it was. It's actually.
I remember this place. This was a cool place. I like this song. I
Yeah,
think
it was.
this one came out good.
It was yeah. It's no, this is I really had, and so you know when you're going on adrenaline, adrenaline kind of kicked some of what came out of me, but before it was like the day of, it was like I could not talk. It was like this.
Oh no.
So the fact that there's some cool stuff here is pretty rad.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me.
It's just like a memory lane, Kevin.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
that's what this show is. That's why I like to get guests that I've worked with, you know, in the past, so I can kind of like pull stuff out of the archive that even I've forgotten about.
Yeah.
I don't think this place exists anymore. This is one of those DIY venues that was.
No,
there was a whole bunch of them at this time.
A lot of really amazing spaces went, like, there was Kent, something. What was it, Zachy? What was the places on Kent that disappeared? The Glasslands, but then where was Death by Audio?
Death by Audio, right? That was the other one.
What did I play with a Bush Tetras? What was that? 285 Kent.
Yeah, I remember. I went to this place a couple times. I think I want to say Harvey Danger played the last show here.
Did they really?
I could be a false memory, but I wasn't there. But I think I remember that it was like either their last show as a band or the last show as a venue. I forget.
Well, I only know the big hit. I think I haven't the.
Yeah, I only know that song too. Flagpole Sitter, yeah. And there was a cool. Who was this guy doing the VJ? That stuff was really cool. And so I actually have all of that like independent. Too.
Oh, Jason Soma. He was a friend of ours from college, and he's like an amazing artist. And he had his own like residency at the Park Avenue Armory.
Nice.
You know, he's fantastic. He's and back in the day, he was a dancer as well, a modern movement sort of a videographer and dancer. So it's cool stuff.
All right, this was out of order, but now here's my Azar Swan video. Let's see. I think this one came out real dark. This is our atmosphere, pure darkness in the back of a venue.
I love it.
Do you remember where this was? I think it was Williamsburg somewhere, but can't really see it.
I don't remember.
This might have been the only time I saw this project in particular.
I don't know.
But there's another like 3-camera shoot. There was another guy I found, Drew McDowell, you played with.
Oh yeah, I love Drew. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
And I found his set as well.
This might have been
it was like the back room of place.
Yeah, I think it was Over the 8, maybe.
I don't remember that name.
I'm pretty sure it used to be Royal Oak.
Okay, that sounds a little familiar.
It was on like off the Lorimer, and
that sounds about right.
That's where it was. I loved Over the 8. I'm
super
sad
dark.
that it was and it was like man, the story of why that place shut down.
Is it a good story?
A bummer.
Oh, what happened?
I mean, it's a story of like some. If I, you know what, I will, and just I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure somebody like. Well, you know what? I'm gonna. I might be taking liberties with the story, so it's like a game of telephone, but it's something along the lines of somebody hurt their foot or stubbed a toe or something really stupid happened with you know, when the neighborhood changes the demographic from like what, you know,
Sure.
from the artists and the neighborhood folk into I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say
Gentrification.
townies. I have no idea. Like, you know, like yeah,
Yeah.
the fourth wave of gentrification
Right.
nerds. When you're the first and second wave, then cool. But
Right.
by the fourth one, it's the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Just joking. I don't know, but the ones that will literally
We're
like
talking
stub
shit.
their toe and then sue the place
Oh,
and
okay.
then you know, and
That is a
there it
bummer.
goes. Like when you can't. That is basically what happened. She and it was a she that I
Mm-hmm.
remember. So I'm not like nothing that part I'm not taking liberties with, but it was something as silly as like she probably like you know got wasted on MDMA and then out you know ouched and then she blames the venue and then their insurance stuff goes up and makes it impossible for a place like that to stay afloat
He's stuck at Burning Man
once
now.
exactly. So but it's really really obnoxious and because it was a great place and
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was still there. Yeah, I mean I feel like it's a relic, all these relics from the past that the places that don't are no longer
I know. It's like
at
that's
least
why I
not
like doing
bringing.
these jobs because it's like I'm also documenting
Oh,
underground culture. You know what I mean?
yeah, and look at how it
As your
made
friend
like
Drew.
his sets and he's gone on to he's still playing like he's gone from strength to strength. He's such an amazing um artist and it's always like a complete uh out of body experience seeing him play
Mm-hmm.
truly. Um and it's really you know no one performance is like the other. I really love
Yeah, he
and
kind of makes
respect Drew. He's played on a
sound.
couple of put his genius on he's lent his genius.
Mm-hmm.
Surely appreciate being able
Good
to
stuff.
have someone like him on our work. But yeah, look, this is really mind blowing. I haven't seen a lot of this in ages.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about a lot about it. It's fun to go through the hard drives. I keep everything by date, so it's pretty easy to find things. Although before 2014 is like a little, we'll see, you know. I found so I
Right.
wanted to relate this to my show. If anyone watched my show not last week, but the week before with Sean Templar, we
Hmm.
I since we had the Murder of Crows festival, and I'm his photographer now. And we were talking about old Murder
Oh,
of Crow
okay.
festivals, and I found this picture that I took of you at 2017 Murder of Crows, and this was when it was
Oh
at
yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah.
Bazaar.
Oh, that was a fun show.
Yeah, and it was a great segue to promote this one. I was like, "Oh, look, it's Zohra." And he said Azar Swan played his party once.
Oh, that's Laura Fluke. Huh?
You played one of
That's
his
Laura
parties
Fluke,
once.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
for
don't think I
sure.
know her.
Yeah, Laura is she actually I met her. She worked with she was a model and she did something with Samara before I met her as well.
Oh,
So
cool.
both you and Laura I knew met through Samara first
Yeah, look,
and that's my friend Albert. Yeah, Samara's like Laura.
nice.
Um yeah, I love her. It was a great that was at Brooklyn Bazaar and they shut that
Yeah,
place down too, which is such a shame because
yeah. And it was this one right
it
here,
was a
Boy
great
Harsher, before they like blew up.
oh yeah. Crazy. It's oh my gosh, it's like uh I forget all of these like they kind of all sometimes these things bleed into one another, but
Oh
like
yeah,
having them
definitely.
separated and looking at them, it's like I
Eh,
yeah, it was such a great time for especially for dark music and like uh, it, I'm really proud to be a part of like that New York scene. It was such a integral part of that kind of
yeah,
uh, that particular, you know, that I don't know, like the dark wave and like
They're keeping it alive for sure.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
even if they're losing
Keeping
money on it, like it's important to them to have this in the culture of New York, I guess. You know, now it's at the
oh, for
Mercury
sure.
Lounge. No, now the last one was at Bowery Ballroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's. I
Do I have a
mean,
flyer? Yeah, it was this one. It was 2 days this year. And
fantastic.
I just thought, you know, okay, I didn't edit these pictures yet, but I thought I'd give you guys a preview. I'm working on it. There's like hundreds of pictures, man, from
You've
these
been
2 days.
you've been so involved in all this stuff.
Well, it's one of my favorite
Oh,
jobs.
wow.
I just thought I got a picture of every band in the hallway before they went on, and I thought I'd show
Oh,
some of these. And these are completely unedited.
oh, Lynette.
So
Oh, I love
when
these
these officially
TMOs. They're
come out,
awesome.
they're gonna look better. But I just wanted to give everyone a preview of this year's Murder of
It's
Crows.
fantastic. You
And
know,
I
it's
love
funny, Lynette, like Bestial Mouths,
Oh,
they're
you know
amazing.
her? You know them?
One time I actually we both played zills, finger symbols, and
Oh,
I accidentally took her zills and I had to
that's
return
funny.
like she's like because I you're like, "Oh, how many folks have then I looked
Right.
at them, I'm like, "Yeah, these are not my finger." So that was
The
one of the first interactions we had. But like in when they moved to Berlin,
I
we
don't know anything about them. Are they from New York?
they were from the West Coast, I think, originally, and then they moved out to Germany for a while. But they played a lot of shows in New York in between,
Mhm.
like they did a lot of touring for years. These are great.
This was my favorite here, Mikkola, I can't pronounce their name right. They're from Iceland, and they were awesome.
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic.
and yeah, of course, if you wanna hear about all of that, go watch my last episode with Sean Templar. W
Yeah, you said it was so 3 hours long. I was like,
Yeah, we did 3 hours, and
I
I
mean, he's got a
disappeared in the
lot of
middle of it.
stories.
Yeah, yeah, we talked about, him making out with Nina Hagen and possibly Trent Reznor
That
hitting
was
on him. That's up to you for you to decide.
Nina Huggin. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Those
at the
are,
Limelight. Oh, how cool.
oh my
Talking
gosh,
about culture.
that is.
I never made it to that place as a club. I was a little too young for it.
I was too young for that as well, but a lot of my friends talked about it, but, I mean, it's a mall now, so I can go.
No, I
Yay.
did it as a mall. I
Let's
think there's like a gym in it.
let's go to the ma yeah.
Yeah. I used to work like right down the street from there. Um, all right, here's a couple pictures I took from various places. I thought maybe we could do some commentary.
Michael oh, sorry, there's some mosquitoes here, so it
Oh
might be
yeah.
Michael Levine, he took that, amazing photographer. He had taken photos of so many people from, like, the '90s on that I love, like, from Babes in Toyland
Oh cool.
and, a lot of, like, hip hop artists and stuff from New
Where is
York,
he
like
based? New York?
New York, and he's married to Lori from Bust, so she runs Bust, and so power couple them
Hmm.
two. But he came over and to the house, and he was just like taking casual photos of folks, newer
Yeah,
artists that he had
this is
heard about.
great.
So yeah, and so I love that photo.
Let's see. I stole these from your
That was
Facebook.
that was at the House of Blues, and we played that with Front 242
Oh,
in
cool.
New Orleans. And it was super fun there
Which
from
band was this?
this is Azar Swan.
Okay.
So this is actually the same well actually a year after our murder like 2019 actually. So I think it was a year
Okay.
before COVID and all that. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that was super fun.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up
Me and
because this
Lydia.
is now we're gonna segue into your new album again, of course.
Yeah.
And I found this picture of you and Lydia. How long have you known Lydia, and how did you, what's the
Well, I've
story
been
there?
a huge fan since I was very like 13 or 14. I'd actually from a poster I found of hers at the mall in
Hmm.
a store called Hong Kong in DC,
Wow.
outside of DC in Virginia. So, and I just knew it was her in St. Mark's, and she had this big spider on her breast, and she's looking directly into the camera, and it's just like super just super rad. It's just something that stuck with me, and I was like, I'm going to find this person's work, and it was like when you eat with your eyes, you're like, I'm gonna like this no matter what. I could just
Yeah.
tell. And then she had so many different, like from Teenage Jesus to just there's so many projects of hers that I love and adore.
Is
There's
it
so many
this?
records she's been on. There you go. Yeah, exactly that.
Hey,
It's Lydia Lunch St. Mark's on it, and it's crazy.
1970s. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she had come back to New York, I think, right after in 2012, after Sandy or something, Hurricane Sandy. I knew she had been away for a while, just in Europe and just various, she's been traveling and road dogging for years.
Yeah.
So I would go to the spoken word stuff, and I'm firmly a believer of not meeting your idols. You'll be disappointed probably.
I've had pretty
That's
good.
at least.
Yeah, I've had. Yeah.
But I have had good. I've
I guess when they're not
proven
that
myself
famous,
wrong.
you know.
But we're famous within a
Our
circle.
bar
Like,
is a
to
little
me,
lower than most people, I think.
I think that like the bar that anyone would consider is not anyone that I would even have a lot of respect for, to be
Right,
honest. I don't know what the
exactly.
like. So just for me though, she's like, and the echelon of like, uber, like fame is the wrong word, but just like in terms of respect and being in as part of this community, and the various projects, but be it film, the spoken word, the written word, music,
Mhm.
just all of it. There's like 6 degrees to Lydia Lunch, I believe, is when it comes to shit I love.
And when did you meet her? Or like
So
when did you
she started to know, like, I think energetically found me, and noticed that I was there, sort of like taking it all in, very wide-eyed and bushy-tailed about it. Like, it was
Mhm.
exciting. It really is. It's like between her and Ian Svenonius, those are my two, like I will always have the best things to say about all their projects and who they are as people.
And then I have to put
And
so this is a picture I took at St. Vitus
oh, I
of
love
you
it.
two.
When we were
Yeah.
downstairs, I love it. She's just amazing, and she just sort of had announced on stage once, because she asked Zach to do or she and Zach did this particular thing together at Pyramid, I believe,
Oh,
where a bunch of
yeah.
folks had come together to do some spoken word, and she had told him how she just thought his girlfriend was super, like, looked like a lot of fun. She wanted to get to know me, and then we just started talking every time I'd see her play, and she became a friend after just us really kind of powwowing. It took me a while to be able to just be like, hey, like, so I call her Ms. Lydia, because I have to have that bit of respect. I can't. She's a really great friend now, but I had to make a delineate from my memories and my respect for her as an artist, and still have a sort of way of keeping that respect there, without it feeling like it's strange, like, because I
Sure.
wouldn't be able to just say, hey Lydia, what's up? It's just maybe that has something to do with my cultural background of, like, it's something called etram. It means like every time like an elder comes in from into a room, we kind of like bow our heads.
I think she's particularly intimidating too. I mean, her whole like persona is very like, is she gonna be mean to me?
Oh, people
But
do
she was
think
like
that
so nice.
she's a nice, but like, she's basically what I would describe, if this is how I in this, I think it encapsulates it. She's like Mother Nature. There's so much beauty, but it's also absolutely fierce, and you
Yeah,
cannot.
she's definitely mothering. And I
she's definitely has that she really cares, and that's something that
Yeah.
I think I was very evident to me. The work that she does, as ugly as some of it can feel, or what she's talking about can feel really like she's putting a light to kind of the darkest parts, or the darkest aspects
Yeah.
of humanity,
Culture,
and it's
society.
ugly,
Yeah.
war, and you know, and a lot. and
I have
she
another.
does
Yeah,
it
go ahead.
beautifully. I think
Uh-oh, did she freeze again?
uh-oh,
No. Okay. Oh,
I can
I
hear
think you're back.
you.
I think you're good.
I can hear you. You broke up a little. What was the question?
Okay. I don't know, but I wanted to show this other picture. That was actually not the first time I photographed Lydia Lunch, and this definitely encapsulates her mothering nature. This is her helping dress my friend Samantha Riot some years back at a church, a show that
Exciting.
they did at a
I've never
church.
seen.
And I wanted to
Oh
also
wow.
show this as a segue because Samantha Riot's going to be on the show on November 9th, so we'll definitely be talking about Lydia
Oh, that's
again.
that's rad.
Yeah, and this must have been in
That's
2017 or something like that. I don't know, something around then.
That's Miss Lydia. Yeah, she'll be there
Miss Lydia, yeah.
to tie. She'll tighten a corset. She'll
Yep.
put in she'll put in a pin where a pin needs to
So
be.
that was the first
And
time I met her, but very briefly. I don't
that's
think she remembers
amazing.
me from that. And there's some other pictures from that room. Like she just like rented out a church for this crazy show or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was I feel like I must have been there where like that
I don't think
show.
you were
I
there
just
because I would have remembered that. It was in
well then I
Brooklyn
wasn't
though.
in town.
No,
I've seen a couple of.
Lydia wasn't performing. She was just there for my friend Samantha.
Oh
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh
She was
that's
just
rad.
chilling, you know.
Oh that's
Um,
amazing. And she did such a amazing.
right.
She's
So
just
I guess let's talk about how this happened. She's on your record,
Oh my God,
right?
Zach. I'm sorry, there's a huge spider.
Oh
It is
no.
so big. It heard about. Okay, sorry. I'll have to
You're,
show you
the
how
creepy
big the
thing
spider.
is
Do you
that
see it? Oh my God, it is like a big. It was like,
can
oh,
we see it?
it heard about the spider I was just talking about
Oh
with
yeah,
Miss Lydia. I'm
that's
scared.
right.
We
It's
may
that
have
spider.
technical difficulties.
Oh
Oh no,
no.
it is not one that I want to hang out with. Oh my God, it's huge. Did you get rid of it, Zachy? Is it gone? Oh no, I can't deal with that. Kevin, we may have to
Uh-oh.
like
Is this the
wrap up
end of the show?
our it was huge. It looks like it would hurt if like
I know.
Zachy, I can't trust that.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, maybe I'll go inside if do you want to put on a video and then I'll go inside?
Sure. Let's put on a video. You know what? I'll play
Yeah.
your music video with her.
Zachy, let's go.
Hopefully that's not gonna like mess me up
Yeah,
on
let's.
YouTube.
Oh, why would it?
I don't know, just like
Hold on, let
because
me
of the
just move this.
YouTube recognizing the music or whatever. Let's see.
Hold on. Oh my God, no, that was scary.
I love this red aesthetic.
Oh.
To the prophet won't make you rich.
I mean, classic Lydia Lunch. Miss Lydia, I like that. Gotta give it respect.
It's amazing. Hold on, let me turn on a light here. Oh my God.
Murder in the temple where another man prays, messing with the women if they dare to
Yeah, location change. I'm here for it.
Location. I put us on a pool table, but let me sit here. One sec.
I did not make this video just
Zach.
for anyone watching, but I quite enjoy it.
Can you get my person? Okay. Mm. I'm downstairs. I'm just.
Well, we're enjoying this music video. I'm enjoying it. I'm captivated. So
I'm
whenever
sitting
you're
just right
ready,
here.
tell me about this.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm back. Can you just make
Awesome.
sure that the spider isn't in there? There was like a gargantuan spider.
I believe you.
Yeah, so now we're in a different location where we have. Oh, I love this. Miss Jasmine made this for us.
Who's Miss Jasmine? Yeah, this video is
Miss
great.
Jasmine is Jasmine Hurst. She is she's done a lot of photography and videography for Miss Lydia, and they've been working together for a while. They're working on this documentary about depression and
Oh.
yeah, that
Oh,
I'll have
okay.
more info on soon, and with a lot of really great folks. So she and she basically is able to kind of just shoot us in one location, and then she just brought in this beautiful imagery, and um,
How did the
it
collaboration
was
come about?
it was difficult because it was like I'm doing a lot of textural vocal work
Right.
on this particular song, and Miss Lydia had come up with this part because it was just like I felt like it was needing something, and like when it was in the mix phase, like Ben Greenberg also agreed. He's like, well, like, and she did it within a day, and she came up with like there was just some murder in Paris where this brutal thing that had happened, and she was referencing that, and so when we thought about how to do the visuals for it didn't since it's my solo thing, it didn't make sense to have it be like it would have been confusing if it was a performance like where they were like Lydia doing everything like so it had to we wanted my that with my presence.
Oh no. It's gonna come back in a second, right? Everyone just believe. I believe. We'll make it if you believe. Oh no, did we lose her? Did the spider get her? I think I can hear
Can you
her.
hear me?
Okay, yes, you're back. You broke up
Okay,
again
yeah,
for a
sorry.
second.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're having such a. I
We were
hope
talking about
this
the
isn't been just a.
collaboration. That's all right.
Oh yeah, so yeah, and it was great having her like and Miss Lydia can perform anything like in 20 minutes. You know, you can have a take, and she just is such like a pro when it comes to
It was
that.
actually that was my first
And
time.
so it was just about getting
Yeah.
the visuals that we wanted like in the interspersal stuff, which, like always, it's like for me, it's always a kind of half beautiful, half kind of brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was actually, so you
I
guys
know.
played together
I
at St.
can't.
Vitus, and it was my first time seeing her live,
Why
and
is
I
it
was very
breaking
impressed.
up? I'm sorry, Kevin.
Oh no.
I can only.
Can you hear me?
I know this sucks. I'm sorry. I heard half of that. What did you say?
Am I back? Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You.
Okay. I was just saying, seeing you two play together, not on stage together, but projects together at St. Vitus was the first time I saw her live. Well, let's see if this connection gets better. Oh, we may have lost her. Well, for the meantime, I'm gonna play some Miss Lydia. Now I can only call her Miss Lydia. Uh-oh, live at St. Vitus. Hello.
Hi.
I thought
I'm not
in
sure
your
what's
absence,
going on.
I was just saying that this was the first
Oh.
time I ever saw her play live, and it was awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, her whole band is phenomenal.
Yeah, the retro virus, right?
Yeah, it's Weasel Walter, and like they're just they're so.
Yeah, I kept my stuff rolling.
Fantastic.
Well, I kept some of the cameras rolling and the soundboard. Listen how great
Oh,
the
yeah,
sound
this
is from St. Vitus.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh.
She's so gritty. Hey, have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you watched this?
Oh yeah, the words. I love that. It's
Yeah, I
phenomenal.
remember.
Have you seen the whole thing?
Yes, I did part of the Kickstarter or whatever they did for this, the fundraising. Just like, you know what, I
It's
don't know
phenomenal.
much about her, so I figure, you know, I'm into music documentaries, of course. I'm making one myself, so got to check out what's
Oh,
going on.
incredible. That's amazing. Wait, what's your documentary?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, since I can talk about it. The Life and Slimes of Dukey, Flyswatter, and Haunted Garage. Would you like to see a trailer? I'll play one of the
I'd
short
love
ones.
to.
Let's see.
I would love that.
Do you like B movies?
I do, of course.
All right. Well, maybe I'll
100%.
play. Most people who have watched the show have probably seen this before, but I'll play one of the shorter teasers. It's not finished; it's still in production. But
what influence did B movies have on the band?
How many tapes do you have? How many loads have you got?
It started out as a band that was covering bad songs from bad movies.
I mean, it should be looked at as a legacy of Los Angeles.
They lived the movie lifestyle.
I had seen many of Dukey's movies long before I knew who he was.
I first saw Dukey Flyswatter in a Green Jello video.
Because as soon as I saw him up on the stage, I go, oh, fuck, that's that guy from Surf Nazis.
Roger Ebert said it's the worst movie he's ever seen.
They were such a part of our scene.
You know, a cult movie that's got its own fans. We've attracted our own fans and our own family.
Within a city of misfits like Hollywood, we were misfits.
He's an icon of the underground exploitational genre.
Punk rock god of Hollywood.
It was neat to see the same faces always orbiting this universe that Dukey Flyswatter seemed to be in the center of.
There was celebrities, weird people, cool people, interesting people.
Axl and Sass came to see us and I slimed them really good.
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons.
Tom Waits was there. I remember Fishbone showing up at a couple of gigs.
Courtney Love was afraid of us.
When you're sitting between Dukey and Elvira, it doesn't get any cooler than that.
Spike Lee wasn't impressed.
I'm just about to go on stage and Flea grabs my shoulder.
White Zombie and Haunted Garage and Tool were all in the same bill.
I think Soundgarden was opening for you. I would not be surprised.
I did a nude painting.
Clive Barker owns that painting.
Los Angeles seems to be a haven for insularly popular artist situation. You can destroy here, and nobody knows where you are anywhere else. No. It's crazy.
We'd like to be an A movie someday.
A BA movie. An AB movie.
A BA movie?
A BA. Yeah.
Cut!
VonPod, sponsored by myself.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That is
still conducting interviews. I just talked to Brian Slagle from Metal Blade Records the other day, who signed them in the 90s.
That's incredible. It's so like East Coast. I mean, West Coast esoteric.
Oh yeah.
West Coast. Sorry, I'm surprised. Did you go out there for
Yes.
any like a given? How
Yeah,
long were you there doing the?
I did like 40 something interviews in 2 weeks. And then the rest I'm doing virtually. Like I'm
amazing.
still conducting them. And that was almost 2 years ago, I guess. 2 summers ago. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Documentaries take a long time when you're the only one making it. But it's a passion project.
I'm floored. I had no idea, and I was like, "This looks real. It looks like a real documentary,
It is. It's gonna be real.
No, but like that's phenomenal. I wouldn't have guessed it was just a one-man show behind all of
Just
that.
me, pretty much. I mean, there's
I'm
some
excited to see
co-producers,
that.
but yeah.
When will
Thank you.
it be available?
That's the big
to,
question. I don't know. I'm probably at least a year or two still. Just not only the work, but like I don't have any money, and there's like lawyers are expensive. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of getting contracts for footage, and who knows? I don't even know. It's help me out if you're out there and you are an angel investor.
If you have do you also have like anything where you have like a what's it called?
I did a fundraiser.
Why am I
Yeah, I did a fundraiser like a year or two ago, and I basically raised enough. This was after I went to LA, so I basically raised enough money to cover what I had already spent, and that's about it. So I'm basically back to zero now. That's why I'm doing all my interviews virtually.
Put the word out.
That's what I'm doing here. Yes.
Yeah.
If
well,
watching,
now
you know. Dukey Flyswatter.
I will definitely.
I wonder if Lydia.
You need to make. You need. You should ask for sure.
Yeah.
I'll ask on your behalf. Like it feels like maybe, but then again, it was honestly such like a piece of West Coast esoteria. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to say it is. But
they've never came to the East Coast.
I was a bit, just because of how much of your stuff I know is like rooted in New York. I think it's super cool. How did you come on to that?
I've just been a fan of them since I was like 10 years old, and there's not a lot of not a lot of information out about them, and yet I don't know, it's just something people need to know about. You know, he's like a B-movie guy, but he also had this band for since 1985 to 2022, I think. It's like crazy. Like pretty much my entire lifespan, this band has been around in some way. And like people don't know about
the mousetraps are pretty.
Yes.
It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, they were kind of in that wave of bands that were pushing the envelope in terms of shock rock on stage in like the early 90s, late 80s, you know. So them, and then they started like doing live piercings and just anything that's weird, and you know, and then there's like the Genitorturers kind of came out. I wouldn't say they directly influenced all these bands, but they kind of put it into the collective consciousness, you know. They were
for sure, yeah.
They kind of like broke the mold so that everybody else could follow in a way.
Well, you need to make tote bags. That's all. Like if you're.
Oh, you want to see the?
You know, if
I got this great original art made for me. He does Garbage Pail Kids cards. This is not.
I was gonna say that's 100% Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, that's what he does like for a living, I guess. So yeah, there's Dukey
Phenomenal.
Flyswatter. So that's that's one of the
I'm
things I've been doing.
I will definitely I want to
DukeyDuck.com.
to give, be a patron of
Oh well, you missed
the
out. Maybe I'll do it again. I gotta
Well,
have
yeah,
something a little bit more to show for it next time.
you gotta open it up for other people to give you,
I
to
accept
support.
donations. I have PayPal and
Yeah.
Venmo. It's not a direct fundraiser anymore, but sure. So
Well, maybe you can give a sticker for any of the
stickers. I got box of stickers, and I need to get them out
Yeah.
to the people.
There
So
we go.
hit me up directly if you want a sticker. I'll send you some stickers.
Kevin,
Where?
this has been such a trip.
Where can we get your album? And like, what's coming up for you? Anything coming up?
Well, I'm working on the new album. I'm working on
Oh,
some
really?
shows that I'm hopefully taking it to Europe by May, and it's on American Dreams Records. They're amazing. They're based out of Chicago, and fantastic label that puts out a bunch of really cool stuff. And so check out American Dreams. And
Nice.
yeah, the next the next thing it's already in the works. And yeah, I hope that
Give me something
I'll
to
be
remix.
doing more shows. Oh, I would love to. Yeah, for sure. We'll be in each other's inboxes with send me some of this to this
Yeah.
Lucy Juicy Bony Johnny.
What does that mean?
My sister, those are the Garbage Pail Kids. Those
Oh,
were our
yeah.
favorites growing up.
I think I was king
in the
size Kevin.
80s. But yeah, definitely there's stuff, I'm gonna have there's a remix record that
Ooh.
we're
Let me
putting
get
out
on there. Oh, is it done yet? Is it done already?
yeah. Well, this is one from Azar Swan that's finally after a
Oh.
couple of years of just sort of well, and we'll have
I want
more
to do
info
something
and all
new.
that. But yeah, would love for you to do something. I will send you some of the stuff, some of my stuff, and some Azar Swan,
Okay.
one of the newer things, and we'll be in
So
each other
does Azar Swan
creative
still
orbit.
exist?
It does,
Even though
yeah.
you've
We're going
gone
to be
solo?
for sure. We are going to be working on some malaria-inspired records. We're going to be putting some heart muscle into that soon. It's exciting because it's just like it's been a little while that I've been kind of in a creative space and been able to produce stuff. There was a couple of years where it was just difficult to make things. So now I'm back into the spirit of being creative and community space of like like-minded folks. And I love that. I love that you've done so much as well. Like all the stuff I'm seeing is just incredible. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you, and
Thank you.
let's
Likewise.
thank you for having me on and be in touch. I will definitely have you. I will love for you to remix something.
Yeah, like give me something. I need more people to know that I make music. Everyone knows that I do photos and videos because they come out more often, but also go check me out on Bandcamp and Spotify and check out my stuff. And there's gonna be a lot more coming
Check it
soon.
out, yeah.
Trust me, there's a lot of stuff in the works. Go support art, go buy Murder in the Temple. Can we get this on CD? Is it just vinyl?
That's a good question. It should be there should be some
I think mine's red.
CDs,
Let's see.
Let's see. Yeah, there's some that's
nice.
There's some red and there's some yellow goldish ones and black. Yeah, that's
okay.
I love
For the
my
collectors
colors, man.
out there, go get them all.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
All right. Yeah. Let me promote
great
my
to talk
shows
to you.
coming up. I don't have many booked right now, but like I said, Samantha Riot is coming up in November. But before that, I think the next one I got. Where's my slides here? Do you know Tibby from Reagan Youth and Gash and X Possibles?
Oh yeah. I believe so. I don't.
She's been in the New York City scene for forever.
Yeah.
Punk rock scene.
Awesome.
So we're gonna
Next
talk
week?
again. No, it's every 2 weeks for the most part. So September 21st is this one. Again, oh my God, if you thought I had some archives for this show, just wait until I pull this out for this show. Oh my God. I got
Awesome.
something from every band.
Amazing.
Now, I don't have a flyer yet, but October, I need someone spooky, and I thought, who's the spookiest person I know? It's Militia. Do you know Militia?
No.
Well, this is a picture of her with Judas Priestess, her Judas Priest
Amazing.
cover band. But I've been working with her for a long time as well, and one of the most spooky people I know. And then Samantha Riot. And then I got to book some more shows, man. So if you have any ideas of guests, who do you want to see on here? Hit me up. Again, like, share, subscribe, help me out in the algorithm. You know, let's get this stuff out there. I'm trying to clip more of these shows out, so stay tuned for some clips. And that's it. I think we did it. Thanks,
Thank you so
Zohra.
much.
Yeah, this was a
so
lot
good
of
to talk
fun.
to you.
It's so fun to just like pull all the stuff out of the, all the tapes out of my boxes,
You really helped me remember those in a better light than maybe they were in my memory.
Maybe.
So
I hope
thank you.
so. And thank you to
For
your sister
sure.
Samira, who hung out with us in the chat and was, of
Yeah.
course, the
She's the
reason that
best.
we met for the first time. And
she's got a lot of cool stuff coming up too.
Oh,
We'll have to
good.
talk
You want to
about that at
promote
some
something
point.
for
She's
her?
awesome. Well, Rumi Rose, her oil, we need, like, honestly, like, I'll have to give you anyone who I've given a bottle to, and we're going to be doing a podcast together as well, where I'm going to be doing a lot of the sound, and she does a lot of the mixing of the stories and fashion and yeah, some historical, basically like using them the history and telling in story format and mixing them with her own artwork and giving people a sense of what these textiles and the actual history of some of the things that we think that like are like a Venetian blind isn't really from.
Do you have a title for this podcast?
The podcast I do was I will let you know when we have one. We're bouncing ideas. I'm giving her sounds and all kinds of textural stuff and taking her illustrations, and we're just doing the setting it all up. But it'll be really great. She has always been a part of my creative journey, and even though it's like she is part of a more like quote unquote like more of a normal.
Yeah, like I didn't want to say that as
thing.
like as a bad thing. It's just a different thing.
Yeah, no, but you'd be surprised.
Because I was so surprised that she brought me to a goth club. Like, what?
So, Samara, you missed it earlier, but Kevin was saying how he met you, and then when your first episode was at this underground goth thing that he hadn't even really knew that he didn't know about yet. So, yeah, you never know.
You're the underground of the underground, Zohra. How do you feel about that?
She always has been. She and I've been.
No, you.
Me or Samara, both of us.
Well, I guess
Samara
both of you.
is.
But you're the underground of the underground. Samira's not.
That's true.
In the underground.
Yes, Samara, but she's
yes, it's pop culture. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing, less fish
like it.
I
like it. I think it's worth I think it's where there's exciting stuff happening and where people meet on.
There's a Venn diagram of people who wear eyeliner. So
exactly. It's true. Well, I'm really happy that we've been in each other's orbit for so long, and may it continue.
That's why I was excited to see that you were playing. I was like, oh my God, I got to get her on the show. Like, I got so much to show. I think we'll close this out.
In the archives.
I'll play a little bit more from the St. Vitus show, so people I can meet people with that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Keep in touch, everyone. Go like, share, subscribe, and let's check out some more of the show. And come back in 2 weeks for TBX from Reagan Youth and Gash and X Possibles and Kissy Kamikaze and all these other bands I've seen her in. Oh, Ghouls Night Out, her Misfits tribute band too. All right, more from
Take care.
St. Vitus. See ya. Oops,
bye.
I'm pushing the wrong button.
I had Miss Lydia Lunch do a part on that song for me, and it's called Murder in the Temple, and she's absolutely amazing on it, and y'all should check that out if nothing else. And I would like to thank you, and I'm done, and she would be on when she wants to come on.
Like, share, subscribe, comment.